clinics, but nobody could help her. And when she heard of Jesus, she got an oppressed behind it. She said, if I could just touch his garment, I know I'll be made whole. She began to hear about how when he was on the other side, how people begin to get healed. And she began to hear about him casting out demons. And she began to hear about him going through. But when he came on the other side, it says, and I always said when he came to this side, he came to the hood. You know, he hang out. And that's why I'll do this all day. I'll do this whether before I go to a church, because Jesus stayed out in the hood. He stayed around the people. He stayed around the thugs and the gangbangers in those times. So he went on the other side and hung out with the people in the hood. She began to hear that he was coming back. She said, okay, she began to strategize. I'm weak. I've been bleeding for 12 years. All my money gone. The doctors didn't help me. I'm getting worse. I'm about to die. Jesus is my only choice. He's my only choice because she's tried everything. You know, it's a song I have, if you tried everything and everything have failed, you got to try Jesus. You have to try Jesus. And that's what she did. She went and she made her way through the crowd. You have to understand, there was multitudes of people. Multitudes, just a whole sea of people. But she began to make her way through the crowd. And some folks say, some pastors say she made her way through because she was contagious. So her blood droppings made the people spread. You know, let her walk through because they didn't want to be contaminated. But the scripture says she came in the press. She got in the press behind and touched his garment. So she made her way through the crowd. And whatever we're going through as women, all of these issues that we're dealing with, we have to keep pressing. We have to get in the press behind and touch Jesus' garment because we've tried everything else. We tried to cuss some folk out. We tried to drink. We tried to fight. We've tried it. But once that was done, it may have sufficed us for that moment. But once that was done, our problem came back. It's still here. So what we have to do, we have to learn how to trust God no matter what we're going through, no matter what our issues are in our tissue. Listen, you can't dirty God up. You can't dirty Jesus up. He wants us to come messed up. He wants us to come toe up. He wants us to come with our problems. Because if we could fix our own problems, don't you think we would have fixed it by now? We can't fix our own. We can't even fix ourselves. We can make some attempts because we do have free will and we can do things to help us because faith without works is dead. But the ultimate thing is we have to find a way to touch Jesus. That woman began to strategize. She said, okay, I see all these people. I know they already been talking about me because I ain't supposed to be outside. I'm supposed to be hid away. But 12 years in a house, like you were saying, I can't stay in the house for a week. But she would have had to stay where she was for 12 years. So she had to do something. She began to strategize. If I could just touch Jesus, I know I'm going to be healed. And that's what we have to do. We have to get that faith because Jesus said, daughter, your faith have made you whole. We can't say, well, I'm going to touch him, but I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I'm going to give him that, but I'm going to pick it back up because I can handle it better than him. If we could have handled it, we would have. But what we have to do, we have to learn as women that nothing is too hard for God. You have to find your own way to touch him. Your way may not be my way. Your way may not be my way. My way may not be your way. But we have to find that way that we can touch Jesus and allow him to hear those issues. that are in our tissues, that are in our body. We have to learn how to say, Jesus, here it is. I've tried it. It's not working for me. I give it to you. And I promise, when he turned around and said, who touched my clothes? Now understand, Jesus knew because he's all-knowing, right? So he knew who touched it. But he was waiting for her to give that mouth confession. It was me. And so we can be going through things in our own self, but until we make that confession, Lord, I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. And just like, you know, I've never had an addiction problem, but I know from seeing that you have to go in and say, my name is such and such, and I'm an alcoholic, or my name is such and such. And I agree with that, because that's the only way you can begin to get help, if you first admit that you got a problem. But if you continue to go and, you know, ain't nothing wrong, I'm cool, you know, no, well, you ain't going to get help that way, because you have to own where you are. God, I'm messed up. I can't do this. And just talk to him. You don't have to have a special way that you talk to him. Just talk to him like you talk to me. Just talk to him like I'm talking to you. Lord, I can't do this. When he began to call me out the past, I was like, I ain't doing that.